Mint Condition, the home of collected editions.
That cover's so awesome.
This is Mr. Chris Claremont, a legend.
Melanie goes,
Tired.
Hey, all you Minties, Uncanny Omar here from Near Mint Condition, the home of collected editions. And join me today. Well, today is our monthly budget meeting. That's right, we're going to be looking at collected editions coming out in March of 2024. So, let's empty those wallets and fill those shelves. And welcome back, everybody. Now, before going any further, I do want to remind you all to please smash that like button. That goes a long way for us here on the channel. Very small thing you can do, but it does mean the world to us, especially with the YouTube algorithm the way that it has been for the last 2 years now. And also a big thank you to Dom of X. Not only did he put the list together for me, but he downloaded all the images. I could not have done this without him. And we're also going to start putting timestamps in the description of the video. Detailed timestamps telling you where you're going to find Marvel, DC for each week, or Image, or Manga if you're interested in that. So make sure you check out the description of the video. And in the description of the video is also where you're going to find a link to our Patreon if you want to join. Big thank you to our patrons for making videos like this possible. And speaking of Patreon, that is where you're going to find the written documentation of this list. I put it up here, I think after it goes live on a Sundays when the list goes. So it's a physical written documentation for you all to check out. It's the list that I use every month for the last few years. And there's also a link down there to our spread shop where you can get cool stickers and t-shirts and things like that. So great way to support the channel if you can do so. All right, 4 weeks, March, my birthday month. And we are going to kick it off with the week of March 6th. From Marvel Comics, we have Amazing Spider-Man Epic Collection, The Secret of the Petrified Tablet. This is the new printing of this classic stuff here by John Romita Sr. and John Buscema, and of course, Stan Lee. And collected in here is Amazing Spider-Man 68 to 85 and Amazing Spider-Man Annual Number 5. The book has 464 pages and retails for $44.99. Not the only Epic Collection, because we're getting the Daredevil Modern Era Epic Collection Underboss. We're looking at the Brian Michael Bendis era of Daredevil, collecting Daredevil Ninja 1 through 3 and Daredevil 16 through 31. So there is stuff in here that has not been collected in Omnibus format, like the Bob Gale era. So, and also artwork in here by Alex Maleev. So it's not just the Bendis era, but it is how we're going to kick off the modern era of Daredevil. Mighty Marvel Masterworks, Captain America Volume 3, To Be Reborn. And you do have a cover. The standard edition covers by Leonardo Romero. And this is collecting, of course, the Stan Lee and Jack Kirby era. But there's also a direct market cover, too. This is collecting the Tales of Suspense, material from Tales of Suspense 95 through 100. And then they decided, hey, let's just give Captain America his ongoing title, changing the name of Tales of Suspense to Captain America. So also collected in here is Captain America 100 to 105. Keep an eye on the channel because my family's going to be doing a review of Silver Surfer, Mighty Marvel Masterworks. Moon Knight, Mark Spector Omnibus Volume 2, coming out the very same week. And I've done an overview on the channel of this one already, but this collects Mark Spector Moon Knight 35 through 60, Moon Knight Special Number 1, Web of Spider-Man 93 to 94, Moon Knight 1 through 4 from the 1998 series, then the 1999 series, 4-issue miniseries, Black Panther 20 through 22, and material from Marvel Comics Presents 152 to 154. 1,032 pages, $125, and both covers available the same day. Terry Cavanagh, or Cavanagh. You all were correcting me. Some of you all were. Some of you are like, yeah, that's what I thought his name was. But anyway, that is the main writer on this. But in here, you're also going to find the work of Chuck Dixon and Doug Moench coming back to the character that he co-created, as well as Christopher Priest. And Star Wars Volume 7, Dark Droids, is coming out. Charles Soule continuing his run on Star Wars, collecting issues 37 through 41. And Dark Droids is the event that is going on through all the Star Wars titles. So also coming out is the Star Wars Dark Droids D-Squad, collecting Star Wars Dark Droids D-Squad 1 through 4. And that one is written by Mark Guggenheim. Strange Academy, The Deadly Field Trip is coming out. So in here, you're going to find the work of Carlos Hernandez, Scotty Young, Juan Cabal. Cover there's by Nick Bradshaw. And this collects Strange Academy Miles Morales, Strange Academy Moon Knight, Strange Academy Amazing Spider-Man, and Strange Academy presents The Death of Doctor Strange. Not collected in the year 1 or year 2 trade paperback, so this is a digest size book, but that's the way they've been collecting Strange Academy first. Maybe one day, when it's all said and done, because I think there's another series that is coming out, we'll get a Strange Academy Omnibus. I would love that. I was a big fan. My kids are big fans of the series. X-Men by Jerry Duggan Volume 5 is coming out, so continuing his run with artwork by Stefano Caselli and also Joshua Cassara, and collecting X-Men 25 through 29. From the world of DC Comics, we're getting Batman Beyond, the animated series, the Classic Compendium. And that one is coming out on the first week of March. Also coming out the very same week, we are getting the Batman Incorporated Volume 2. Or, I'm sorry, Batman Incorporated Volume 2, Joker Incorporated. So Ed Brisson and John Timms working on this, collecting issues 8 through 12. By the way, I'm so sorry, I forgot to mention that. Let's go back to Batman Beyond for a second. Every month I do my top 10, and I'll be talking about this one on that list, because I cannot wait for this series. But in here is Batman Beyond 1 through 6, and then Batman Beyond 1 through 24, which is the follow-up volume. And then a guest appearance in Superman Adventures 64. 752 pages, $59.99. I'll be talking about it more in detail on Sunday whenever I talk about my top 10 can't miss must reads for the month of March. Now let's go back to Batman Wayne Family Adventures Volume 3. So this is collecting the Webtoon series. And I've heard my buddy Wonder Maddie, who's also the co-host that does Old Reader, New Reader on the channel, loves that series. And speaking of loving, both her and I are loving Green Arrow. Volume 1 is coming out, Reunion. This is the series by Joshua Williamson. And Sean Izakse is the artist on the book. This collects the first 6 issues. If you've ever been a fan of the whole family dynamic of Oliver Queen, like that was... Mike Grell had him as a loner, right? And then he had him with Black Canary. Couple other supporting cast members. Chuck Dixon came in and started writing the stories of Connor, but it felt like Judd Winnick and Kevin Smith and Brad Meltzer were the writers that really fleshed out the idea of an extended family for Ollie, including all of his sidekicks, including his love interests. And this feels like that era. So if you are a fan of that era of Judd Winnick, which is very underrated, and I'm not hating on any other era. My favorite era, of course, is the Mike Grell era. But that's what's been missing from the Green Arrow book, and this is kind of like a welcome back home. Really digging it. Harley Quinn, Volume 3. This is the Stephanie Phillips era with Riley Rosmo on artwork, collecting Harley Quinn 13 through 17. Night Terrors, Terror Titans is coming out. So you have the work in here of Mark Waid, Jeremy Hawn, and Ed Brisson. Drawn by Dan Mora. But this collects Night Terrors, Titans 1 and 2, Shazam 1 and 2, Black Adam 1 and 2, Angel Breaker 1 and 2, and Ravager 1 and 2. That one has 288 pages, and it is coming out in a standard size hardcover first. Red Hood Outlaws Volume 1, another one of the Webtoon books, 200 pages, $14.99, and it is supposed to be a smash hit from what I've heard. Also what's written there. Superman Action Comics Volume 1, Rise of Metallo. Love that cover. And the artwork in here is by Rafael Sandoval. And also Lee Weeks, Dan Jurgens writing some of the stories in here, as well as Philip Kennedy Johnson, collecting Action Comics 1051 to 1056. Superman Emperor Joker, the deluxe edition, is also coming out that very same week. And that is collecting Superman 160 to 161, Adventures of Superman 582 to 583, Superman Man of Steel 104 and 105, Action Comics 769 to 770, and Superman Emperor Joker number 1. This is a deluxe edition, meaning that it's oversized hardcover, 296 pages, and retails for $49.99. Also coming out that week is Vixen NYC Volume 4. And that is another one of those books that is a webtoon book. From the world of Image Comics, we are, knock on wood, I did reach out to them this week. I haven't heard back yet. But Invincible, the complete library is coming out. So this again, collecting Invincible 0 through 24, Image Comics Summer Special number 1, $125. And I did say it was going to have a smaller print run because they've been labeling how, I can't remember the unit numbers, but it's not as big as the first printing, of course. Also Invincible trade paperback volume 3, collecting Invincible 14 through 19, and the Image Summer Special number 1. And what they're doing with this series is just reprinting the classic Invincible series in a trade paperback format to make it more available to everybody in case they missed out on it, or they can't afford, of course, these big library editions or oversized hardcovers or compendiums. So it's more for the people that missed out on it and are wanting to catch up. King Spawn Volume 4 is coming out, collecting issues 19 through 24 of King Spawn. It's by Sean Lewis and Todd McFarlane and Javier Fernandez. And then Last Man Volume 4 is coming out. This collects Volumes 7 and 8 of the hit French fight comic. So does anybody check this one out? By Balak and Michael Saint-Laville. So let me know if you've checked that out. It is being translated and I guess published by Image Comics. From the world of Dark Horse Comics, we are getting the BPRD Omnibus Volume 10. And it collects The Devil You Know, Messiah, Pandemonium, and Ragna, space, Rock. This book is 432 pages, $29.99. But we are also getting the Marble Queen trade paperback from Dark Horse Comics. Now, from Dynamite, we're getting Mad Balls. Oh my gosh, this is so nostalgic. That cover. Versus the Garbage Pail Kids. Heavyweights, gross. Hardcover and a trade paperback. So both of them are coming out the same day. And just having Atom Bomb there, sorry, or depending on which card you got, right? It just brings back memories. And the Mad Balls, I remember my brother and I going to Big Lots, finding them open and throwing them at each other. We were ridiculous. This collects 4 issues plus a gallery of covers. I had no idea this was even a thing. Both the trade paperback and the hardcover coming out. Trade paperback being $14.99. Hardcover being $19.99. Now, from the world of manga, and then we'll look at other publishers. So thank you again, Damavex. Adu is coming out, Volume 1 from Kodansha. And this is by Amano Jaku. Must be, that's got to be a famous name, or just a popular name. Why am I thinking of Urotsukudoji? That was a character's name, Amano Jaku. Anyway, sorry. You don't need to watch that. Apothecary Diaries is coming out from Square Enix Manga. Love that cover. Love covers like that. Blue Box Volume 9 is coming out that very same week, and that is published by Viz Comics, as well as the Fire Force Omnibus Volume 9 coming out that week. Now, those are the 3-in-1, and those are being published by Seven Seas Entertainment. We're also getting Amakoi, Now I'm in Love, Volume 9. Thank you so much, Dom, for adding these ridiculous titles. That one's published by Viz Media. And Keep Your Hands Off Izuken. Now, that is being published by Dark Horse Comics. Volume 7 was solicited for June, but this one is by Sumito Uwara. It's both drawn and written by him, so that is the mangaka of the book. Kimono Jihen is coming out. That is a Volume 10. As well as Like a Butterfly, Volume 5. And that one's being published by the folks at Viz. Also getting the Medalist, Volume 1. So we are getting a Volume 1 that is published by Kodansha. At first I thought it was a new take on Shaman King just based on that cover. Mushoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation, Volume 18. Which goes to show you that just because they have long titles does not mean that the books will not continue. Volume 8, I've never heard of that. My Clueless First Friend, Volume 5 is coming out that very same week. And that is being published by Square Enix. We're also getting My Hero Academia 37. Now, we're getting a second box set that's been in the catalog. It hasn't been officially solicited, but that second box set I think is supposed to have volumes 12 through 24, if I'm not mistaken, in there. So I'm glad they're collecting that. And I hope they collect the spin-off series too. Rent a Girlfriend, volume 23. Speaking of box sets, I have the first one. I had no idea it was continuing with another big one. Robotics Notes, if you've not read this, this is a phenomenal series. It is being published by Udon Studios. And how is it that... Okay, the story's 5 PB. You can see it on the cover here. But the manga is by Keiji Asakawa. So that is coming out. I don't know how many there's going to be of that particular series. This is Screwed Up, Reincarnated as a Girl, Volume 11. Yes, that would be screwed up. But you know, we've seen movies before, like 13 Going on 30, vice versa, 18 again. That was more of a father and son, mother-daughter switching bodies. So, never mind. It's different. Tokyo Aliens Volume 6 is coming out that very same week. And Wolf Girl Black Prince Volume 6. And that is published by Viz. Now, we're looking at other publishers like Fantagraphics and Humanoids. Alterations is coming out that very same week, so the week of March 6th, and that is published by Union Square. We're also getting Baker and the Bard hardcover and the trade paperback by Fern Hott, published by Fuel and Friends, as well as the Army of One trade paperback, and that is being published by the folks at Oni Press, both a trade paper... Actually, no. For some reason, it's just solicited twice. Sorry, I thought it was a hardcover. And that is by Tony Lee and Yishan Lee. And also getting the Blackula Return of the King. Now, that is coming out in a hardcover format by Zombie Love Studios. That looks like it's one that has been delayed, though. Blue S Volume 1, Vice Principal Problem is coming out that very same week. As well as the Calvin and Hobbes Portable Compendium. Has anybody picked those up yet? I'm curious how small they are. Whenever they say portable compendiums, I always think that they're tiny or digest size. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I'm curious as a fan of the big hardcovers. And I used to have the small, like, landscape size collections too. I wonder if it's done in that way. Fantagraphics is publishing Fat Cop. Oh, it's a Johnny Ryan comic. Oh, hell yes. $29.99. And Fat Cop is a hardcover. Feeding Ghost graphic memoir is coming out that very same week, and that is published by MCD Books. As well as Gulf. And Gulf is being published by Tundra Books. But it is called The Gulf, and that is by Adam D'Souza. And then we're getting the Here Comes Calico, the Ultimate Defender of Animals by H.H. Herman and Javier Oravich. I need to reach out to these folks because I met them at New York Comic Con and they were kind enough to give me the first issue of their comic. And I told them, if you guys ever do collected editions, reach out to me. I think this is amazing because all profits go to like animal charity, like it's an animal fund for a lot of the animal hospitals or just the kennels that are around the city. I'm not really sure. I would love to interview them, talk to them, because I think donating money and time like that is just wonderful. I love that. I Am Legion, the 2024 edition is coming out, and that is being published by Humanoids. That is by Fabian Nuri and John Cassaday. That's right, of Astonishing X-Men fame. Innkeeper Chronicles Clean Sweep is coming out by Andrews McMeal, I'm sorry, is the publisher. Ilona Andrews and Crossex Rhodes are the creators behind that book. And the Michael Moorcock Library, the Multiverse Volume 2. Now that one could be delayed. We saw how long the first one was delayed, but knock on wood, that one might come out that first week of March. Mushroom Knight Volume 1. This one looks hella cool. The kind folks at Mad Cave sent me a poster and a PDF file of the first issue. This is by Oliver Bly, and I'm not sure how the book looks. I'm not sure why I'm holding this up like this. You probably have no idea what the hell I'm talking about. But it looks like it's in a different format than the other books released by Mad Cave. Celebrating 10 years. Good on them. A lot of comic book publishers come and go. Some big ones have gone, and we still have Mad Cave. I'm a big fan of what they've done over the years. Now they're working with paper or absorbed paper cuts. Nothing Special Volume 1 is also coming out that very same week, both in a hardcover and in a softcover format. That is by Katie Cook. I am a huge fan of Katie Cook since the days of My Little Pony because that will always remind me of my daughter's obsession with the My Little Pony comics. Now that is the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic comics, of course. Of course. Owly, the color edition Tiny Tales, also another one that reminds me of my daughters. When I used to go to comic conventions or I would travel for work, that was a book that I would bring back to my youngest. She loved the Owly. We haven't even talked about Owly in 3 or 4 years. Hold on to those memories. Hold on to those kids if you're reading your kids' comics. Keep it together, Omar. All right, Rick and Morty, Heart of Rickness is coming out that very same week. And that one is being published by the folks at Oni Press. And we're also getting Slip coming out that very same week. And that is being published by the Algonquin Young Readers. And Strangers in Paradise is getting a 3rd volume. So Abstract Studios is publishing another volume of these Strangers in Paradise without it being in hardcover format, without it being in a big box set. These are just more affordable books. The 3rd Shifty Society is coming out that very same week. And to wrap up the week, we're getting Walt Kelly's Peter Wheat Complete Special Volume 2. And that is being published by Hermes Press. Now, if you're interested in any of the books I'm talking about so far and you live in Canada, check out our first sponsor. BD Cosmos, the Canadian leader in graphic novels. They have a physical storefront in Montreal, Quebec, and their website, bdcosmos.com, offers 25% off your order of over $99 or more, and free shipping everywhere in Canada for every order of $200 or more.
Their shipping care is exceptional. Your books will stay cozy through the rough Canadian weather and arrive to you in near mint condition.
After checkout, let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way, and you'll be added to the monthly $25 gift card raffle. Entries are valid for new and returning customers.
Don't be afraid to call or email them. Ask them questions. Their staff is always happy to help guide you towards the right purchase. Visit their website, bdcosmos.com, for more. BD Cosmos, with rewards and raffles taking care of customers in Canada. Eh?
The week of March 13th or 14th, which is my birthday. That's my birthday week from Marvel Comics. We have Deadpool vs. Deadpool Corpse. And this is a book that has the prelude to the Deadpool Corps, the Deadpool Corps 1 through 12, and the Deadpool Family one-shot. So you have stuff in here from Ed McGuinness and Rob Liefeld, Victor Gischler, just to name a few of the creators. And it's $44.99, 448 pages. Marvelverse Wonder Man, so it's a small digest-sized book collecting Avengers 9, Marvel 2 and 178, Wonder Man number 1, and Avengers number 14, $9.99 for 112 pages. Moon Knight Volume 5, The Last Days of Moon Knight. I mentioned when I did an overview of the City of the Dead that you should read that before reading this volume right here, because this collects issues 25 through 30, which will be in the Omnibus, but City of the Dead will not, because that one is written by David Pepose. But this is by Jed McKay, Alessandro Capuccio, and Partha Patrim doing some of the artwork in here as well. $24.99. This one's 192 pages. I think, yeah, that's a little bit of a price increase, because it used to be $19.99 for something that big. Spider-Man Clone Saga Omnibus Volume 2, the new printing in case you missed the first one, the first printing, and now that's it, right? We've got Ben Reilly 1 and 2, Clone Saga 1, and this wraps up that era of the Clone Saga. So again, Clone Saga 1, Clone Saga 2, Ben Reilly 1, Ben Reilly 2, that's your reading order. This here collects Amazing Spider-Man 402 to 406, Super Special Spider-Man 59 through 63, Super Spectacular Spider-Man Special, and the 225 to 229 of Spectacular Spider-Man, the Web of Spider-Man Super Special, and also issues 126 through 129, the Venom Super Special, New Warrior 61 through 66, Spider-Man the Jackal File, Spider-Man Maximum Clonage, Alpha and Omega, Spider-Man Unlimited number 10, Spider-Man Team Up number 1, Spider-Man the Lost Years 1 through 3, and Spider-Man the Parker Years The reading order in these are better than the old trade paperbacks, so they're using the reading order of these Omnis to put into the Epic collections. 1,288 pages, $150. Immortal Thor. I just read the first 3 issues yesterday. Al Ewing. Oh my gosh. Killing it again. This is Weather Turns to Storm, collecting the first 5 issues and then material from Thor Annual Number 1 from 2023. Martin Kokolo is the artist on this, with Matthew Wilson on colors. Matthew Wilson's been working on Thor colors. Oh my gosh, I think he started with the Jason Aaron era, so he's been there a while. X Factor Omnibus Volume 3, but more importantly, X Factor by Peter David Omnibus Volume 3. Love seeing my dude's name on Omnis. Collecting X Factor 40 through 50, 200 through 232 when it was renumbered, 224.1, and Nation X Factor. 1,160 pages, $125, and you can bet your bottom dollar, whatever the hell that means, that will be in my top 10 recommended list. So I'll be talking a little bit more about that on that list Sunday. X-Men Red by Al Ewing, Volume 4. Al Ewing and Yildiray Sinar, collecting issues of X-Men Red 14 through 18. And from the world of DC Comics, we have Batman Superman World's Finest, Volume 3, Elementary. Collecting issues 12 through 17. Mark Waid and Dan Mora still working on the book. Somebody told me that the series is almost over so they could focus on something else, and I cannot remember what that something else is. Whatever it is, it can't be as good as this because this is so good. Batman Volume 1 Failsafe. If you haven't gotten a chance to read Chip Zdarsky's run with Jorge Jimenez, solid run. Collecting issues of Batman 125 to 130. Ridiculous, but solid nonetheless. It has been available in hardcover. Speaking of hardcover, Superman the Silver Age Omnibus Volume 1 finally coming out. I'm not sure if that's going to be the final trade dress or if they're going to go back to the silver-looking design. Otto Binder, Jerry Siegel, Wayne Boring, Al Plastino, Kurt Swan, collecting Action Comics 241 to 265, and Superman 122 to 127. So we're looking at the 50s and early 60s era of Superman. 816 pages, $100. Teen Titans Year 1, we're getting a new edition of this book that collects the 6-issue mini-series by Amy Wolfram and Carl Keschel. And Carl Keschel's artwork in this is so good. Wildcats Volume 2, Bloodshed for a Better Tomorrow. Anybody been catching up on Wildcats? This collects issues 7 through 12 of the Matthew Rosenberg run, but also Steven Segovia is the artist on this particular run. So if anybody has been reading it, please let me know in the comments down below. From Image Comics, we have the Hack Slash, continuing the Deluxe hardcover edition. So this collects Hack Slash issues 1 and 11 of the second Hack Slash series, as well as the Hatchet Slash crossover, the Murder Messiah annual, and the Zombies vs. Cheerleader crossover. And a bonus story by Dan Leister. And this is $49.99, and that is coming out that week of March 13th or 14th. Something Epic. I don't know what this is, but I love that title. And yes, you are hyping it up with a title like that. I don't care. It sounds awesome. And honestly, just looking at that cover alone, it looks pretty interesting. I know not to judge a cover or a book by the cover, but sometimes you completely can. And that one is being published by Image Comics. It is drawn and written by Simon Kudransky. It is drawn and written by Simon Kudransky. And just the framing around there kind of reminds me of a Vault book. So at first I thought Vault was publishing this, not Image Comics. But this collects the hit series Something Epic 1 through 7. $17.99. Yeah, that one looks really good. Swan Song is coming out in trade paperback format that very same week. And this collects Swan Songs 1 through 6 by W. Maxwell Prince. Oh, this guy that did Ice Cream Man. Okay. Martin Simmons and Caspar Vingegaard, as well as Felipe Andrade, are some of the creators behind that book. Looks interesting. Okay. From the world of Dark Horse Comics, we are getting goooo in the Wild. And that is, of course, Sergio Aragones and Mark Evanier. I think the lettering might be some Stan Sakai in there, but this is In the Wild 1 through 4. The book has 120 pages. It is a paperback, $22.99. And also Signals Volume 2. I did an overview of the first one last month. My friend Tina, I ended up giving it to her. She loved it. She was like, if there's more, please let me know. I'll review it and everything. So this is by Nika, and it's one of those books that was originally published through Tapas, which is kind of like webtoons. Thank you to my buddy Josh for letting me know what Tapas was, because I thought it was food, because that's how I am. From IDW, we're getting Catfight by Andrew Wheeler and Ilias Kriaisis. And this is an original graphic novel, if I'm not mistaken, $17.99, 160 pages. Star Trek, Day of Blood, Christopher Cantwell, Colin Kelly, and Jackson Lansing. Big fans of those guys. With artwork by Ramon Rosanas and Angel Uzuenta. And this is collecting the Star Trek Day of Blood and Free Comic Book Day, Star Trek Day of Blood, Shaq's Best Day, Star Trek issues 11 through 12, and Star Trek Defiant issues 6 through 7. $27.99, 200 pages, and it is a hardcover. And speaking of hardcover, this one is deluxe. This is Sonic the Hedgehog finally coming out, the IDW Collection Volume 4. Ian Flynn still writing it, Bracardi Curry, Jack Lawrence are some of the artists, collecting the Bad Guy miniseries, plus Sonic the Hedgehog 33 through 40. So you have the Chaos Race and the Badnik bases and test run stories in here. $59.99, 280 pages. From the world of manga is Animal Crossing. I completely forgot that this was still coming out. So happy to see that there. And Art of Posuka, that looks absolutely freaking beautiful. But yeah, that one is coming out that very same week, as well as, back by popular demand, Booty Royale, baby, by Ri Takato. It's an omnibus, volume 6. Sorry, I got distracted. She kind of looked like Cammy. That's why I got distracted, because that hat. This collects volumes 11 through 12 of the original Booty Royale. Call of Night, continuing that series from Viz, is on volume 15. Cat on Hero's Lap is coming out that very same week. And that is being published by the folks at Seven Seas Entertainment. This is a volume 2, cute cover. Hellsing Volume 4, second edition, is coming out that very same week from the folks at Dark Horse Comics. And we're also getting the No Longer Allowed in Another World, and that is published by the folks at Seven Seas Entertainment. And One Piece, Ace's Story, is coming out. So this is a one-shot. This is not by Oda, but this is by Sho Hinata, Tatsuya Hamazaki, and Boichi. It is a one-shot taking place probably sometime in the past, but we're also getting One Piece Shokugeki no Sanji is coming out. I think my friend Heather was telling me about this. This is by Yuto Tsukuda and Shun Saeki, and this is the same people that did the Food Wars series, and their take on the character of Sanji. It's just a one-shot spin-off. And also getting One Piece. Wow, so much One Piece this week. So this one is by Eiichiro Oda. It is volume 105, $11.99. Somebody told me to point that out, that the prices have increased in Viz Manga from $9.99 to $10.99, and now they're $11.99. Such is life, though. I mean, everything goes up, so it was only a matter. They can only keep it for so long for $9.99. As a matter of fact, I think it was $7.99 when they first started bringing up the shonen stuff. But look, still better than my days of collecting manga when books were $24.99 for like 6 issues, which was about 120 pages worth of stories for manga. Tengen Hero Wars is being published by Titan Comics. This is volume 1 by Yasu Hiromoto, both the writer and the artist on that book. And Yakuza Lover, Volume 12, is coming out that very same week. Now, from all the other publishers, Fangraphix, Humanoids, Papercuts, we have Asterix Omnibus Volume 11, that is both coming out in a hardcover and a softcover format, so your choice. Battle Action Special Hardcover Volume 2 is coming out from Rebellion 2000 AD. You have the work in here of Garth Ennis, John Wagner, Rob Williams, Dan Abnett, Torunn Grønbekk, Chris Burnham, Henry Flint, Dan Cornwell, just stacked full of creative people. And Children of the Grave is coming out in a trade paperback format, as well as the Cities of Magic. Now that is Magic with a K added at the end. And also getting the Cult of Icarus coming out in trade paperback format. And Degas and Cassatt is being published by NBM. And this is by Salva Rubio and Effa. Looks like a classic painting. Delicates is coming out in a deluxe edition hardcovers, the same people that did Sheets. And Eternal Blue trade paperback Spirit Box is coming out. This is the Jim Kruger original graphic novel. As well as Evermore Falls. And that is coming out that very same week with Forever Forward. And Godzilla X Kong, or Godzilla and Kong The Hunted. This is published by Legendary Comics. So it's interesting that we have Dark Horse publishing Godzilla. I'm sorry, IDW publishing Godzilla comics, Marvel doing the original Marvel years, and Legendary's doing their kind of take on the Godzilla and Kong movie universe. $19.99. And Intertwined, the Spirits of Wuzing Saga is coming out in trade paperback format that very same week. As well as Kapumbo in Oz hardcover. That one looks awesome. Kitsune is coming out in a trade paperback format the week of March 13th or 14th, depending on where you get your books. And we're also getting Lifeformed Volume 1. Now, this looks like it's going to be the week that the Marvel art of David Mack is coming out in hardcover format. That is being published by the folks at Clover Press. This was a Kickstarter, but that date may change, so just keep that in mind. All these dates may change. You never know with books like this. And Mr. Ista is coming out. This is a Volume 1. New Rat City is coming out with a Volume 1. And we're also getting that very same week Phantasmagoria Volume 1. That is a trade paperback. Redshift is coming out in a trade paperback format, as well as the Resident Evil Infinite Darkness trade paperback. And Stronium Dog is coming out, and that is being published by the folks at 2000 AD Rebellion. That is Volume 3. Silver Vessels, this is an original graphic novel, is coming out that very same week, and that is coming out in a trade paperback format from Mad Cave Studios. And we're also getting Tender in hardcover format that very same week. And to wrap up the week of March 13th or 14th is Terry and the Pirates, the Master Collection hardcover Volume 7. So I think it was IDW that was doing it first with the Library of American Comics, and now it's being published by Clover Press. And my buddy Curtis from the Epic Marvel Podcast is a big part of Clover Press, along with Hank, who used to work at DC Comics. This is the Milton Caniff stuff, and Volume 7 is coming out. This is containing the 1941 dailies and Sundays in an unparalleled upgrade that no Terry fan can afford to pass up. That one is $100. All right, now, if you're interested in any of these books and you live in the EU, check out our next sponsor.
If you're in Europe and you're interested in buying these books, definitely check out Walt's Comic Shop in Berlin, Germany. They have the cheapest pre-order prices, flat shipping rate of €12 for all EU countries, emails answered within 24 hours, waltscomicshop.com, and you can use the code Near Mint Condition at checkout and get free shipping for all EU countries with your first order over €40. That's Walt's Comic Shop, your reliable source for omnis and premium collected editions in Europe. Ding!
The week of March 20th from the world of Marvel Comics, we kick it off with Astonishing X-Men Modern Era Epic Collection. This is the beginning of Joss Whedon and John Cassidy's era of X-Men, collecting Astonishing X-Men 1 through 12. And yeah, it is interesting how they're going to map this and new X-Men at the same time, and if they'll join back just being X-Men for the modern era. Regardless, excited to see how things are mapped. And Captain America Omnibus Volume 4. Previously collected as Captain America by Jack Kirby. And then it was reprinted, Captain America by Jack Kirby, with the letter pages and restoration. And now it's being reprinted as a Volume 4. Collecting issues 193 to 214, annuals 3 and 4, Marvel Treasury Edition, Captain America's Bicentennial Battles, and material from Foom. The book has 656 pages and retails for $100. Both covers available that same day. Carnage, Epic Collection, The Monster Inside. Collecting Amazing Spider-Man 430 to 431, Peter Parker's Spider-Man 13, Web Spinner's Tale of Spider-Man 13 through 14, Venom vs. Carnage 1 through 4, Toxin 1 through 6, X-Men Spider-Man number 3, and What If number 108. $44.99, 432 pages. Doctor Strange by Jed MacKay, The Warhound of Vishanti. This is collecting Doctor Strange 6 through 10. And $15.99. Juan Gedeon and Pascual Ferry are the artists on this book. 112 pages. Fantastic Four Epic Collection Atlantis. Almost said Arises. They don't. They just Rising. But I love that cover because it had that chromium cover when it came out originally. But this is collecting Fantastic Four 393 to 402, Fantastic Four 7 through 9, Fantastic Four Atlantis Rising 1 and 2, and Fantastic Four Atlantis Rising Collector's Preview. $44.99 and 480 pages. It's the Tom DeFalco and Paul Ryan era. Marvel Masterworks Spider-Woman Volume 4. Collecting the last issues of Spider-Woman, so 39 through 50, as well as Avengers 240 to 241, which will confuse the hell out of you. But that's okay, because annual number 10 comes in, and Claremont's like, no, we gotta use Jessica Drew. I'll use her in my Wolverine series later. But this is the Chris Claremont and Steve Laiola era of Spider-Woman with Anna Senti and Brian Postman. We're also getting the Miss Marvel New Mutant. This is by Sabir Pirsarda and co-written with Iman Villani, who is the young lady that plays Miss Marvel. Artwork by Carlos Gomez and Adam Gorham, but the cover here is by Stanley Artgerm-Lew. And this collects Miss Marvel New Mutant 1 through 4, as well as all new Marvel Now .1, which is her first appearance. $17.99, 120 pages. I don't know if the book's any good, but what I am going to say is how amazing it must be to be a fan of the comic book and then get to play the character in the MCU and then get to write the character that you were a fan of. Living the dream. That's wonderful. Star Wars Legends Epic Collection The Empire Volume 1 is getting a new printing. Collecting Star Wars The Republic 78 through 80. Star Wars Purge Seconds to Die. Purge The Hidden Blade. Purge The Tyrant's Fist 1 and 2. The Darth Vader and the Lost Command 1 through 5. And Star Wars Dark Times 1 through 5. The book has 432 pages. $44.99. Ultimate Marvel by Jonathan Hickman Omnibus. Both covers available the same day. Collecting Ultimate 4 1 through 4, as well as his Ultimate series. So Ultimate Comics Hawkeye 1 through 4 and Ultimate Comics 1 through 12. And material from Ultimate Fallout 2 through 6. To wrap up Marvel Comics for Week 3, we have Wolverine by Benjamin Percy, Volume 7, collecting issues 37 through 40. So Benjamin Percy working with Juan Jose Riep, and of course the covers by Lionel Francis Yu. And from the world of DC Comics, we're getting the Fourth World Omnibus, collecting Mr. Miracle 19 through 25, New Gods 12 through 19, Adventure Comics 459 through 460, Brave and the Bold 112, 128, 138, DC Comics Presents 12, First Issue Special 13, Justice League of America 183 to 185, Legion of Superheroes 290 to 294, Legion of Superheroes Annuals number 3, Secret Society of Supervillains 1 through 5, Superpowers 1 through 5, Superpowers Volume 2 1 through 6, Superpowers Volume 3 1 through 4, Superpowers Collection 13 through 23, Super Team Family 15, and Stories from DC Special Series 10, as well as the Legion of Superheroes 287. The book has 1,336 pages and retails for $125. Harley Quinn, Volume 5, Who Killed Harley Quinn? This is the hardcover collection, 184 pages, $29.99, collecting issues 21 through 27. Stephanie Phillips' run on Harley Quinn. Justice League, the New 52, Book 1 kicks off this week. Not a DC's finest, but a thickie nonetheless. 528 pages, $49.99. Collecting Justice League 0, collecting Justice League 1 through 17, and Aquaman 14 through 16. So we'll see if they continue that. Superboy, Man of Tomorrow. Kenny Porter writing this book with Janoy Linde as the artist. Collecting Superboy, Man of Tomorrow 1 through 6. And also getting Task Force Z, Volume 2, What's Eating You? That very same week. From the world of Image Comics, we are getting the Astro City Metro Book 5. So this is collecting Astro City Volume 3, 11 through 16, 18 through 21, and 25 through 34. And we're also getting the Descender Compendium, collecting Descender 1 through 32. So all of Descender, $49.99. This is the Jeff Lemire and Dustin Wynn series. And also getting the Spawn Origins. So it looks like, knock on wood, this is when Spawn Origins is being reprinted. We've talked about it. I've mentioned it. And I remember when I was talking to McFarlane's folks 2 years ago, they said it's in the works, but we're pushing it back because we're focusing on the big deluxe editions. And hopefully, knock on wood, this will come out this week. So Spawn 1 through 12, $29.99 in a hardcover deluxe edition format if you've never had a chance to read those. And from the world of Dark Horse Comics, we're getting Edgeworld Volume 2, A Reason to Live. This is the Chuck Austin, which was actually, I dug this book, the first volume. Considering how much hate Chuck Austin got, there's some good stuff in that first volume. And Patrick O'Leaf, who did some of the artwork for Spider-Girl, is the artist on the book. So this is the original digital series, A Reason to Live, and coming out in a trade paperback format. And from the world of Boom Studios, we are getting the Power Rangers Archive Deluxe Edition Book 2, collecting Power Rangers Zeo Image number 1, Power Rangers Turbo 1 and 2, Power Rangers Super Samurai 1 and 2, Paper Cuts Mega Force 1 and 2, Paper Cuts Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 1 and 2, Paper Cuts Free Comic Book Day 2014, as well as additional Power Rangers activity pages and letter pages. $75 coming out from Boom Studios that week. IDW, we are getting Taka, and that is by Ryan Hampole. And this looks to be an original graphic novel, published in trade paperback format, 256 pages, $16.99. And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles vs. Street Fighter. So the miniseries is now collected in one trade paperback, $19.99. 128 pages, by Paul Allure. I remember when I was interviewing him, he had to tell me behind the scenes that this was what he was writing. He hinted at, it's like, I'm working on 2 properties that I've been really excited to write for years. Big fan of his writing, and this is drawn by Ariel Metal. So that is coming out that 3rd week in March. And from the world of manga, we're getting Black Summoner Volume 1. That is being published by the folks over at Yen Press. And also getting the Dark Gathering Volume 6 from Viz Media. As well as The Dreaming. And this is a Volume 1. And that is an updated version of The Dreaming. Not sure if that's using new scans or what exactly it's... But it does state that it is an updated version. Fake Rebellion is coming out that week. And that is being published by the folks at Alien Books. Hellsing Volume 5, the 2nd edition. Formerly called the Deluxe Edition. But it's just the 2nd printing using the new scans for the Tonkabon size books. Initial D Omnibus Volume 1 is coming out that very same week. And that is being published by the folks over at Kodansha. Now, what's interesting is that there's both a standard edition cover and a direct market cover. And the direct market cover will only be available through people that can order from Penguin Random House. So make sure you tell your comic book store or your local comic book store that you need it. Love's in Sight Volume 6 is coming out that very same week. And that is being published by Viz, as well as the Miraculous Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir manga. That Miraculous Tales series, man, both my friends' kids and my cousins' kids, they're all into that series. Huge into the Miraculous Ladybug. Mobile Suit Gundam continuing the Thunderbolt series, volume 21. I really hope they release those in hardcover. Everybody been reading those? I'm just curious how it is. I never got a chance to read them because I missed out on so many of the earlier volumes. I think they did end up reprinting some of them, but I'm not sure if they printed all of them or not. Seraph of End Vampire Reign Volume 29 is coming out that very same week, as well as the Slasher Madness. Digging that cover. That does look crazy. By Tetsuya Tashiro. And that is published by Yen Press and Spy Family Volume 11, who my cousin's daughter is completely obsessed with. But also that same week is the Sword Art Online Progressive Canon Golden Rule Volume 1, being published by the folks over at Yen Press, and that is by Reki Kawahara and Mugetsu Abek. And to wrap up that week for manga is Team Phoenix Volume 3, published by Udon Studios. And that is the work of Osamu Tezuka, but it's by Kenny Ruiz and reimagined. It's like Smash Brothers is the best way I can describe Team Phoenix. But really looking forward. I've been reading I read the first volume, loved it. And now I'm reading the second volume, and then the Magnetic Press just sent me an early look at the Team Phoenix books that they did. All right. From the world of other publishers, we have a small challenge, and that is being published by the folks at Tuttle Publishing. That is by Rai Hyun Kim, both drawn and written by him. And Bootsy's big 50S graphic novels coming out that very same week, as well as Comics Redbubbled graphic novel coming out that very same week. And we're also getting the Classic Gums from 2000 AD Rebellion. Looks like it's been pushed back to that particular week. Death Comes for the Toy Maker is coming out that very same week. That is coming out in a trade paperback format. And Failure to Launch is being published by Iron Circus Comics. Looks like an anthology series, and I just dig that cover. Edited by Kel McDonald. I'd like to know a little bit more about it. And we're also getting Fiery Arrow. That is being published by the folks over at Cinebook. And Godfell, the complete series. And that is coming out from the folks at Vault Comics. And just a little bit about this one. This is by Chris Sabala and Ben Hennessy. And it is the complete series all in one big, thick trade paperback. Money Shot, also by the folks over at Vault Comics. This is volume 4. My goodness, volume 4 already. Nadia and the Nomobots is coming out that week from Opus Comics by Diego Agrimbao and Juan Manuel Tumburus. And that is $19.99 for that particular trade paperback. The Other Bad Guys, Volume 1, coming out that week in a hardcover format and a trade paperback format, as well as Project Rise trade paperback coming out that week. Replay Memoir of an Uprooted Family is coming out from the world of First Second books by Jordan Mechner. And that looks like a real powerful read. Queen of Cosmos Comics Volume 2 is coming out in a trade paperback format. And the Smurf Tales Volume 9, The Hero Smurf, is coming. I love those Smurf books. I'm so glad that somebody is still publishing those. I really hope they do hardcovers 3-in-1s again. Star-Crossed is coming out from Humanoids in hardcover format. This is by Jerry Frizen and Roberto Sagi. And we're also getting the Hell Trekkers coming out in trade paperback format. And to wrap up that week is Under the Floorboards, and that is being published by the folks at Berserker. For Marvel Comics, we have Daredevil by Ed Brubaker and Michael Lark, Omnibus Volume 2, and both covers are available the same day. This collects Daredevil 106 to 119 and the 500th issue, or the 500th issue, rather, Daredevil Annual Number 1, and Daredevil Blood of Tarantula one-shot. The book has 472 pages, retails for $75. Deadpool versus Wolverine, it's like, everybody knew that Wolverine was going to be in the Deadpool movie. Collecting Wolverine 88, 154 to 155, Deadpool 27, Cable and Deadpool 43 to 44, Wolverine Origins 21 through 25, Wolverine Deadpool the Decoy, material from Wolverine Annuals 99 and 95. 336 pages, $39.99. Ghost Rider Volume 4, Rite of Passage, is coming out. Benjamin Percy continuing writing this series. Collecting Ghost Rider 18 through 19, issue number 20 and 21. Ghost Rider Annual Number 1, 128 pages, $17.99. Immortal X-Men by Kieran Gillen, Volume 4. Lucas Wernick is the artist on this. Mark Brooks doing the covers, but Kieran Gillen is writing it. And collecting Immortal X-Men 14 through 18. Jeff Loeb and Tim Sell, Hulk Gallery Edition, is coming out that very same week. Collecting Hulk Gray 1 through 6. Tim Sell with Jeff Loeb. Both covers available the same day. Marvel Masterworks, The Uncanny X-Men Volume 16. Collecting issues 232 to 243. X-Men Annuals 12. And X Factor 37 through 39. So what we're looking at here is the Inferno saga of X-Men. If you haven't had a chance to read it in omnibus and trade paperback format, it is now coming out in a Marvel Masterworks with fully restored artwork for the first time. Chris Claremont, Louise Simonson, Walter Simonson, and of course the legendary Mark Silvestri. Spider-Girl Modern Era Collection Legacy, collecting What If 105, Spider-Girl 1 through 15, the half issue and annual 99. 456 pages, $44.99. This has been collected before in a complete collection, but now it is coming out as a modern era epic collection. Star Wars Dark Droids, coming out that same week by Charles Soules and Luke Ross, continuing the Dark Droids event, but this actually is the Star Wars Dark Droids 5-issue miniseries. $24.99 and 128 pages. And Ultimate Invasion is coming out. This is the Jonathan Hickman book. So collecting Ultimate Invasion 1 through 4. I think Ultimate Secret was supposed to be in there at one time. So maybe they're doing something a little bit different with the mapping. $24.99, 192 pages. Brian Hitch is the artist on that. Wolverine Epic Collection, The Return of Weapon X. And this one here has the Frank Terry era of Wolverine, but also the Matt Nixon era with Sean Chan on artwork, collecting Wolverine 159 and 172, Wolverine 2000 and 2001 annual. And I happen to be a big fan of this era. I like Frank Terry's work on Wolverine. He went on to do the Weapon X ongoing series, which I think is completely underrated, but I guess not so much since they got an omnibus. Wonder Man, the Saga of Simon Williams, collecting Avengers 9, 152 to 153. Wonder Man number 1 tells of the Marvel's Wonder Years 1 and 2, Avengers 2, Wonder Man and the Beast 1 through 3, Wonder Man 1 through 5, the 2006 miniseries, and Avengers Annual Number 6. From the world of DC Comics, we're getting Absolute Luthor and Joker, the 2024 edition, collecting Lex Luthor, Man of Steel 1 through 5, and then the Joker original graphic novel by Brian Azzarello and Lee Bermejo. Batman Superman World's Finest, Volume 1, The Devil Neza. This is, of course, collecting the first 5 issues, and Detective Comics 1050. That leads into those 5 issues by Mark Waid and Dan Mora, available now in trade paperback. $17.99, 160 pages. Birds of Prey, the Progeny, is coming out. $29.99, 304 pages. And this is those missing issues of the Birds of Prey that we've been hoping that DC didn't forget, and I'm so glad someone remembered at DC Comics. And we are also getting the Deathstroke Incorporated Volume 2, Year 1, coming out in trade paperback format, as well as the I Am Batman Volume 2, Welcome to New York. And this is collecting I Am Batman 6 through 10. JL Ape, the complete collection, a book that I never thought we'd see printed, but here we are, reprinting the entire crossover from the Legends of the DC Universe 19, JLA Annual 3, Batman Annual 23, Aquaman Annual 5, Wonder Woman Annual 8, The Flash Annual 12, Superman Annual 11, Green Lantern Annual 8, and Martian Manhunter Annual number 2. And the book is 352 pages, $29.99. And also coming out that week is Naomi Season 2, and finally coming out in a trade paperback format. It's been available before in hardcovers. Kicking off Image Comics, we have Creepshow Volume 2. You have stories in here from Phil Hester, Garth Ennis, Dan Waters, Zoe Thorogood, Nick Dragotta, Michael Walsh, collecting Creepshow Volume 2, 1 through 5. They're an anthology horror series. I love the first one. Coming out March 27, $14.99 for that particular book. We're getting the Invincible, again, knock on wood, hopefully this will be out. The Invincible Complete Library, hardcover Volume 2, collecting 25 through 47. This is, of course, the reprint, $125. And the Volume 5. These were, I think, originally supposed to be out in December, so knock on wood. And the first printing of Volume 5 of the Complete Library is limited to 5,000 copies, collecting issues 97 through 120 of Invincible, and it is also $125. Now, these are those big books that, they're bigger than the deluxe editions. They're kind of like the Spawn library edition books. So if you're interested in big books, limited editions, like limited to 5,000, that might be the book for you. We're also getting Rogue Sun Volume 3, collecting issues 13 through 18. This is all part of the Massive Verse universe. So it's Ryan Parrott and Marco Rena working on that particular title. Sex Criminals is getting a complete edition trade paperback. And what's interesting is that it's not called it's a ridiculous cover. It's not called a compendium. I don't know why. So this collects Sex Criminals 1 through 30 and the original one-shot special issue number 69. Matt Fraction and Chip Zdarsky. And Chip is the artist on the book. Tales of Suspense Volume 1 is coming out that very same week. And that suspense, keep in mind, is spelled differently. It is SYZ. Pence. This is by T.P. Louise, Ashley Wood, and Chris Ryle. And this is collecting all 4 issues of the series, $15. Oh, I'm sorry, the first 4 issues of the series, $15.99. From the world of Dark Horse Comics, we're getting the Tomahawk Girl, or Tomahawk Angel Volume 2 by Chris Robinson, an original Tapa series, and now available in a physical format, as well as Usagi Yojimbo Saga Legends, the 2nd edition. So this collects one of my favorite Usagi Yojimbo stories, the Usagi Yojimbo Senso, the color one-shot Yokai, and the short stories Under the Same Sky, Hair Today and Hair Tomorrow, and the color Gagged. This is $29.99, 560 pages. From the world of Boom Studios, we are getting Berserker Bloodlines, Volume 1, Steve Scrooge. Love when that guy comes back to comics, but I guess it kind of makes sense since he did the storyboard for Matrix. And Berserker, Keanu Reeves, kind of looks like Keanu Reeves. But also Mattson Tomlin and Rebecca Isaacs. This collects Poetry of Madness 1 and Berserker Fallen Empire 1, $19.99. And Garfield Full Course Volume 2, collecting Garfield 9 through 16, $16.99. That one, actually both of those are trade paperbacks. From the world of IDW, we're getting Bryn Mawr by Steve Niles and Damian Worm. Steve Niles, of course, the gentleman that did the 30 Days of Night, and is a new horror story. $17.99, 136 pages. For Better or Worse, The Complete Library, Volume 8. Buddy Curtis has been doing the color restoration on these for years, and this is collecting the comic strips from May 4th, 2003 to July 29th, 2006. So $49.99, 512 pages. We're also getting Star Trek, The Motion Picture Echoes. Mark Guggenheim is working on this book, and this is 136 pages. It is a trade paperback for $19.99. From the world of Dynamite, we're getting Betty Page, La Dolce Vita, Mirka Andolfo and Luca Blanchio working on this book with Elisa Ferrari, and $17.99. I really like that cover. Very, very classy. And Brandon Sanderson's White Sand Omnibus is coming out that very same week. And that has been delayed, and it's been rescheduled, so I'm knock on wood, it will come out. Disney Villains Maleficent is coming out in a hardcover and trade paperback format by Sue Lee and Jay Lee doing that cover. If you haven't been reading these Disney villain books, like the Scar and Hades, my wife's the one that got me into Hades. They're so good. And I haven't had a chance to read Maleficent, but let me know in the comments down below if you have read Maleficent. Let me know how it is. Empowered Volume 12 is coming out that very same week, as well as The Gargoyles. Again, one that I've announced before. Hopefully they'll come out, but I always like to tell people, sometimes things change. So both the hardcover and the trade paperback are due out the same week. And the Weaver Omnibus coming out that very same week from Dynamite. As far as manga, we're getting the Fist of the North Star hardcover volume 12. Man, they are just... okay, first of all, I'm just glad they are just cranking those out. I love Fist of the North Star, so it makes me happy they're still coming out with them. Get Schooled Volume 2 is coming out that very same week, and that is being published by the folks at Ablaze Publishing. Grace Rosa is coming out that same week from Titan Comics, and that is by Himuro, both the artist and writer, so the mangaka on that particular book. Finally, after a long hiatus, and I mean a long hiatus, we are getting Oh My Goddess Omnibus Volume 7 coming out that week. Love it. Hopefully that will be a deluxe hardcover edition one day, but who knows? Here's hoping. I mean, we've got a lot of manga that has been released in hardcover format. And Terror Man is coming out that very same week, Volume 2, from Ablaze Studios. Now, as far as other studios, we are getting Sisters 3 in 1, Volume 2, coming out that week. And we're also getting the Viscera Objectica by Silver Sprocket. This is by Yugo Limbo. And Anna is coming out in a trade paperback format that is from Fantagraphics, as well as the Asgardians hardcover and trade paperback edition. And Volume 1, this is Odin. We're also getting the Betty and Veronica Decades, the 1970. So this is by Archie Comics publication. And by various creators, jump back to the Bronze Age with America's Sweetheart, Betty Cooper and Veronica Lodge. I used to read so much of that. Bloodborne, Bleak Dominion, coming out that week. And that is being published by the folks at Titan Comics. There is a direct market cover, and then your regular edition cover that week. Classic Illustrated, Black Arrow is coming out that very same week. And that is by the Classic Illustrated Publishing Company. Con and On is coming out from Ahoy Comics that week, and that is by Paul Cornell and Marika Cresta. Big fan of Paul Cornell. Dusk is coming out in trade paperback format, and that is by Scout Comics. Alex Segura, Elizabeth Little, and David Hahn working on that book. $24.99. The Essential Rogue Trooper Genetic Infantryman is coming out from the folks at Rebellion 2000 AD. Jerry Finley Day, Colin Wilson, and Cam Kennedy. $28.99. Evil Eyes C is coming out that week from Uncivilized Books, as well as the Hellstorm Hyde Manor hardcover coming out that very same week. Gannibal Volume 1 is coming out in a trade paperback format from Ablaze Studios, as well as How War Begins. Now, that is being published by the folks at Fantagraphics, and that is by Igort. $29.99 is the retail price of that book. The King of Moths is coming out in a trade paperback format, and also that very same week, we're getting Last Queen in a trade paperback format. And The Madness is coming out, Volume 1, that is being published by AWA. Michael Straczynski is the writer, David Lorenzo is the artist, $17.99. I had no idea JMS was working on any comics at AWA, but hell, that's freaking awesome. The Marvel Art of Alex Maleev is coming out, again from Clover Press, but keep in mind it could be delayed. Mighty Barbarians is coming out that very same week, and that is being published by the folks at Ablaze Studios, but Michael Morecci is working on that. Big fan of that guy. He's doing the Barbarics, makes sense. And Night Eaters, the softcover PX edition is coming out from Abrams Books. That is, of course, by Marjorie Liu and Sana Takeda. And we're also getting the Ninjak Super Killers coming out in a hardcover format from the folks at Valiant Comics and Alien Books. Safer Places is coming out in a trade paperback format from Avery Hill Publishing. And we're also getting the Street Fighter Masters Volume 1, Fight to Win. And that is, of course, being published by the folks at Udon Studios. Cannot wait for that. Walt Disney's Mickey Mouse, Volume 23, The Riddle of Brigaboom, Disney Masters, hardcover edition. I've been getting need to catch up on the box sets. I just picked a couple of them up, so you'll be seeing those in my next haul video. And Ciro Calcares' Armadillo Prophecy is coming out that very same week. And that is being published by the folks over at Ablaze Publishing. Now, if you live in America and you're interested in purchasing any of these books, when they come out, check out our sponsor, cheapgraphicnovels.com, your online home for graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They have excellent shipping and prompt and helpful service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And don't forget that CGN also takes pre-orders. That way you don't miss out on the hottest releases. And they are currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, after receiving your order confirmation email, reply back to that email and let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way. They will then apply a free shipping promotional credit to your next order in the US. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. And those were your books for the month of March of 2024. Again, a big thank you to Dom of X for putting all this together. My gosh, you're a beast, my friend. Thank you so much. Seriously, I couldn't do this without you. Couldn't be doing this without any of you that are watching and smashing that like button and sharing the video. Let me know in the comments down below what you're most excited for. Don't forget to come back Sunday where I'm going to be talking about my top 10 essential or must-reads for the month of March of 2024. Also check out Patreon. That's where I'll be putting the written documentation of this particular video. But that's it, everybody. Stay healthy and safe out there. Much love.